Thank you, Kelly. Any questions for our delegation?
Maybe a few.
Councillor Allard?
Yes. Are you aware, Madam Speaker, through you to the presenter, that the traffic engineering improvement program includes road safety upgrades, making the roads more safe for Winnipeggers?
I'm aware of the components that are in the traffic engineering improvement program, unfunded but warranted. Yes, I am.
Thank you. Second question, Councillor.
I don't know the relevance of the question, but
so are you aware through you, Madam Speaker, that the cause of death for people under 30 is basically a 50-50 chance from being killed by a motor vehicle, and that safety upgrades help mitigate these risks?
What's the relevance to my request? Doesn't matter if I'm aware of it or not. What's the relevance to fixing our potholes? And the cause and the damage and the accidents and the risks to our potholes.
Do I get a...
Thank you. Final question. Final question and the questions and answers through the chair, please. Thank you. Final question.
Madam Speaker, for the delegate, in the delegate's opinion, is it more important to fill potholes than save lives?
Saving potholes will save lives. It's not relevant.
Save lives, not potholes.
Thank you, Councillor Allard. We're moving on to the next speaker, which is Councillor Chambers.
Madam Speaker, and thank you for your presentation, Kelly. Potholes this year have been probably the bane of every 15 of us around this table, 16 including the mayor, in terms of the calls that we receive. And we are as well driving on these same roads for those of us that are driving or even taking the bus if these buses have to navigate the roads as they're coming to and fro. But also recognizing that the weather has been quite an issue to deal with this winter and then this spring in terms of the amount of rain that we've had and the enduring cooler weather. And are you aware that the fixes to some of the potholes that we're experiencing now is a cold mixture that's being applied? It is a temporary measure until the weather does mitigate, so that a more permanent solution can be made that's more permanent as opposed to temporary. And that the measures being taken now are to mitigate those huge potholes, or I'm calling them craters, to protect against damage to vehicles and potential safety issues as they're trying to slow them back and forth across our roads.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Chambers. I'm aware of that it's a cold mixture and it's not as permanent as a hot mixture, but I'm also asking for that we need to increase funding now for more permanent solutions of actually cutting areas out and putting in rebar and concrete and proper bases. To do that increase in funding now, it's an investment and it's a prevention and it is a savings in the future. That hot or cold, the potholes in my area, I'm going to repeat it. All those solutions have been done. We're waiting the third time since March 26th. I said more than 10, it's likely 20 in our area where this section of road needs to be replaced, along with hundreds and thousands of kilometers of roads within the city. But all we're doing is doing temporary Band-Aid fixes, and then we're going to reoccur it. So you're going to do solutions now. I can't imagine what next year is going to be when we have so much more that's repaired versus what we had repaired before this season. So I'm saying for priorities, there are things that are in the budget with huge amounts of money that need to be reallocated to fix. This is a crisis.
So thank you for your response.
Councillor Chambers, second question.
So through you to the delegate, what you're advocating for is a longer term solution to the pothole problem or to the roads in general problem?
Specifically to the pothole problem, which also will, in its process, will remediate road renewal. So I'll give you an example. If you're going to do 3 kilometers on Portage Avenue, 4 lanes wide, and the first 2 kilometers is no potholes, don't do those 2 kilometers this year. And use that money to fix streets that need help today. Example, Saskatchewan Avenue around Route 90. You need a Humvee to get through that street. Ness Avenue, every hour there's a vehicle changing tires. Sturgeon Road is a mess. Where you see people, and the guys fishing on Kenniston, I know that one's being worked on. They did a good job on Forge Avenue the other night. They worked in the night. I am giving credit to the public service for doing what they can with the resources and the tools they have. But you can't go on spending money when you have a crisis to address. And I take objection that somebody's saying that this is a campaign speech when this is my 14th time with the same message. I'm just listening to people. They are irate. And finally, let's get this straight. And there's some things, they are important. Some things can wait a year to make this better in the coming months.
Thank you, Kelly. I think you've answered the question. Any further questions? Seeing none, we appreciate your presentation.
Madam Speaker?
Yes,